Chosen one, the moment you removed yourself from that toxic connection, a definitive verdict was reached in the spiritual realms. A final court judgment has been issued against them. They are furious because the cosmic referees have ruled you officially untouchable. While you focused on your healing, they were busy performing rituals and casting bindings to keep you accessible, only to find that their magic has completely dried up. Something massive stopped their attack, something they never anticipated, and that something is about to crack your reality wide open and birth you into a version of yourself so powerful that everything you have been building will suddenly make sense. When you walked away, that person felt it physically, like withdrawal, like losing a supply they depended on. This was not about missing your love. This was about losing access to your essence. You carry something rare. You carry divine favor. You carry ancestral backing. You carry a frequency that elevates everything it touches. When proximity to you existed, things worked for them. People respected them more. Opportunities came easier. Even their spiritual practice seemed stronger. None of it was theirs. It was borrowed light from standing next to someone who actually carries it. The moment you severed the connection, everything shifted. Their spells started misfiring. Their manifestations stopped landing. The entity this person had been working with suddenly went quiet. Panic set in, because without you, without access to your energy field, the truth was exposed. They have average abilities. They have mundane power. They have nothing special without you there to make them look luminous. So they made a decision. They decided to force the issue. They went to the entity, the mimic energy that shapeshifts and glamours and deceives, and they demanded results. They wanted to bind you. They wanted to block whoever is coming into your life. They wanted to drain your creativity. They wanted to do whatever must be done. And here is where everything flips. That entity, that force whose entire purpose is manipulation, looked at you and said no. They said absolutely not. Do you understand what that means? A being that exists to deceive, that operates in lower realms and feeds on human desperation, refused the job. The refusal did not come from sudden morality. It came from recognition. The entity recognized your protection. It recognized your lineage. It recognized the level of spiritual authority surrounding you. That entity knew something important. Anyone who touches you uninvited gets handled immediately, and the entity decided the risk was not worth taking. But here is the secret that was kept. An earlier attempt had already been made. When you first walked away, they tried. Chains were attempted. Your light was targeted for dimming. Blessings headed your way were marked for blocking. And what happened was so catastrophic, so immediate, so overwhelming that this entity swore never to make that mistake again. Your protectors did not just block the attack. They traced a message back to the source. The message was clear. The message was undeniable. This one is protected by forces you do not want to meet. This one carries a purpose ordained at the highest levels. This one is surrounded by ancestors who have earned their place in the councils. This one works with energies from multiple realms, who all agree on something. Nothing interferes with this transformation. So the entity gave a warning to them. This will not work. It will bounce back. When it does, do not come asking for protection. You were warned. But ego never listens. They thought surely there must be some workaround. They thought there must be some loophole. They thought there must be some way to slip past the defenses. So they performed the ritual. They spoke the words. They sent the energy, and it came screaming back so fast, so hot, so concentrated, that it burned through their own protections like paper. Now comes the part that cuts deepest. The judgment did not just protect you. It exposed them. It exposed them in front of witnesses they cannot escape. It exposed them in front of forces they tried to impress. It exposed them in front of a community that now sees clearly. When they made the decision to go after you, they did not do it quietly. Bragging happened. They told others in their circle about the power they had to bring you back. They talked about the ability they had to make you think of them. They boasted about the capability they had to block whoever was coming. They claimed the skill to drain your creativity and claim it. They built a reputation. They presented themselves as someone with real spiritual authority. They presented themselves as someone connected to powerful forces. They presented themselves as someone who could bend reality to their will. People believed them, for a while, because their magic used to work. Before you, they had success manipulating smaller targets. They targeted people without protection. They targeted people without purpose. They targeted people with no ancestral backing, no divine assignment, no council of protectors, so their comfort grew. Their arrogance developed. Their belief solidified that real power was present instead of just preying on the weak. If this message speaks to your soul, hype this video so other chosen ones can discover it. Then you entered the picture. Everything changed, but they did not recognize it immediately. While they had access to your energy, they felt more power than ever. Doors opened, opportunities came. Their manifestations worked faster, their accuracy increased, their creative work got attention. They assumed it was personal evolution. They assumed it was personal growth. They assumed it was ascending power. The truth, they were standing in your overflow. They were bathing in your excess light. They were feeding off your frequency like a parasite on a host. When you left, confusion arose for them. Why did everything suddenly get harder? Why were their spells taking longer? Why were their manifestations not landing? Why did people seem less impressed? They did not make the connection to your absence. Their ego would not allow it. So they reached a conclusion. You must be the problem. You must have taken something. You must have placed a curse. You must be blocking from a distance. That is when they decided to take action. That is when they approached the entity with demands for intervention. And that is when they made their fatal mistake. They made an announcement. They told people in their circle what was about to happen. They talked about how you would be taught a lesson. They talked about how walking away from someone like them would have consequences. They talked about how their power would be proven by bringing you to your knees. The entity warned them clearly. The entity warned them directly. This one is protected. This one is respected in multiple realms. This one carries assignments guarded by forces I do not challenge. If you do this, it will not go as you think. It will return to you, and I will not shield you from the consequences. But they could not back down after telling so many people. Backing down would mean admitting the power was never that strong. So they pushed forward with momentum, and the entity, bound by certain agreements, had to comply. But the entity complied reluctantly, and the entity informed other forces. I was ordered to do this. I advised against it. What happens next is not my choice. When the hex returned, when the binding snapped back, when the glamour became a veil over the wrong face, the entity showed no surprise. The entity simply withdrew. The entity severed the contract. The entity walked away, and here is what destroyed them. The entity told others why. In the same circles where they had bragged, the truth was spoken. That one tried to touch someone under high protection. That one ignored clear warnings. That one is now experiencing natural consequences. I want no association with this outcome. Word spread faster than fire. It did not spread through gossip. It spread through the field. It spread through the knowing. Other practitioners felt it. Other entities heard about it. Other forces took note. Suddenly, the reputation as powerful, as connected, as someone with real abilities was exposed as recklessness. It was exposed as foolishness. It was exposed as operating beyond actual authority. It was exposed as attacking someone so protected that even dark forces refused to help. The fury you feel coming from them is not just about losing you. It is about losing face. It is about losing respect. It is about losing the reputation they built over time. It is about being humiliated in front of everyone they tried to impress. It is about watching their community distance itself, because association with someone who failed that spectacularly becomes a liability. No one wants proximity to someone with active blowback on them. No one wants collaboration with someone whose magic just got proven ineffective against real power. You did not even know. You did not fight back. You did not send anything in return. You did not craft counterspells or hire someone or engage in spiritual warfare. You just existed in your protection. You just walked your path. You just continued healing and growing and aligning with your purpose. That was enough. Your simple presence in your power, your basic alignment with your mission, was so fortified that their best attack looked like throwing sand at a mountain. Starseeds, they never expected this. The technology used to suppress consciousness has been reverse-engineered, and Destiny Engine is the result. What was once used against humanity is now your ascension weapon. You can now MK Ultra yourself into 5D superpowers. Destiny Engine bypasses the conscious mind and rewrites the source code directly. Reality bends faster. Synchronicities stack. Your nervous system upgrades to a higher bandwidth. Put on headphones. Press play. That's all. For $1, you switch sides of history. Click the link in the description. The takeover is internal. That is what the judgment exposed. That is what has them furious beyond words. They are not furious that loss occurred. They are furious about how loss occurred. They are not furious that you won. They are furious that you won without even trying, without even knowing there was a battle, because that proves, beyond any doubt, that the power difference is not close. It is not even comparable. You operate in a completely different class, and everyone knows it now. The judgment did not stop at exposure. It included restitution, because in spiritual law, when attempts are made to steal or block or diminish what belongs to another, especially when that person is under divine protection, consequences extend beyond just being stopped. Energy sent with malicious intent becomes a debt owed, and that debt gets collected in the exact area that was attacked. They targeted romantic connections for blocking. Watch what happens to their own love life now. They targeted creativity for draining. Watch their own creative well dry up. They targeted your light for dimming. Watch how they become invisible in rooms they once dominated. They targeted opportunities for stopping. Watch doors close that used to open easily for them. This is not revenge. This is cosmic accounting. This is the universe balancing the books. This is what the judgment demanded, and they feel it every day. Something else stops working. Another door closes. Another person distances themselves. Their confidence erodes a little more. A simple manifestation fails. Information does not come through clearly. Inspiration is gone. Even the mirror shows it. The light is dimmer. The energy is scattered. The power they thought was personal is revealed to have never been personal at all. Meanwhile, you experience the opposite. Everything they targeted for removal is being restored in greater measure. Everything they targeted for blocking is arriving with momentum. Everything they targeted for dimming is shining brighter, because the judgment did not just penalize them, it blessed you, it released resources that were being held, it accelerated timelines that were waiting, it opened portals that were ready. When someone attacks you unjustly, when malice is directed at someone innocent, the universe does not just protect, it compensates. It restores what was stolen. It multiplies what was targeted. It blesses what was cursed. This is written into the fabric of spiritual law. The innocent must be made whole. The faithful must be rewarded. The protected must see evidence of that protection manifest in tangible ways. So watch what is coming now. Watch what arrives in the wake of this judgment. Watch what unfolds as the restoration clause activates. You are about to receive in ways that will make their attack look like the best thing that ever happened to you. You are about to be blessed in the exact areas they tried to curse. You are about to thrive in the specific ways they tried to block. You are about to shine in the precise manner they tried to dim, and it will be so obvious, it will be so undeniable, it will be so clearly connected to their failed attack, that even they will have to admit defeat. Even they will have to acknowledge they messed with the wrong one. Even they will have to accept that the judgment was righteous and the outcome was earned. The person coming into your life, they arrive with clarity now. The opportunity that was being blocked, it manifests with perfect timing. The creative breakthrough they tried to steal, it downloads into your consciousness with unprecedented power. The confidence they tried to shake, it solidifies into unshakable knowing. Every single thing they touched with malicious intent becomes a point of massive blessing in your life. This is not coincidence. This is divine mathematics. This is cosmic justice in action. This is what happens when the universe decides someone has suffered enough at the hands of someone operating in darkness. The scales tip, the balance shifts, and suddenly everything that was hard becomes easy. Everything that was blocked becomes open. Everything that was delayed becomes immediate. You are about to enter a season where things click into place with supernatural speed, where connections form that feel like they were written in the stars, where opportunities present themselves that seem too good to be true but are absolutely real, where your gifts amplify in ways that surprise even you. This is the restoration. This is the compensation. This is the universe saying, you endured that attack with grace, and now watch what we do for you. This is why they watch you obsessively now, not because they love you, because they need to understand how you are doing it, how you are thriving while they are declining, how you are rising while they are falling, how you are glowing while they are fading. They search for evidence that you are doing something to them, some spell, some curse, some spiritual warfare. Because if you are attacking them, then their failure makes sense. Then they can claim victim status. Then they can tell people you are the Dark One, not them. But you are not doing anything to them, and that breaks their mind. You are just living. You are just healing. You are just growing. You are just creating. You are just connecting. You are just being. And in your simple beingness, in your alignment with who you truly are, you are so protected, so blessed, so favored, that their entire attack not only failed but reversed completely. That is the power of walking in your authentic assignment. That is what happens when you are who you are meant to be. You do not have to fight. Your protectors fight for you. You do not have to defend yourself. Your position is already defended. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. Your results prove everything. The fury you feel coming from them is the fury of someone who gambled everything on a sure thing and lost catastrophically. They were certain they could control you. They were convinced they had the power to manipulate your path. They were confident they could stop what was coming, and they were wrong. Completely wrong. Publicly wrong. Undeniably wrong, and now they are paying a price they did not anticipate, not just in their practice, not just in their reputation, but deep in their soul, because when you operate in malice, and it fails this spectacularly, something inside you breaks. Some illusion about who you are and what you are capable of shatters completely, and you are left staring at the truth you tried to avoid. You are not powerful, you were just unchallenged. Until now, they see you as the one who revealed their weakness. But that is not accurate. You are just the one who was strong enough that their weakness could no longer hide. You are the mountain that revealed the pebble was just a pebble. You are the ocean that showed the puddle was never deep. You are the sun that exposed the flashlight was never bright. You did not diminish them. You just existed in your fullness. And in comparison their smallness became obvious to everyone watching. And here is what they do not know yet. What you are becoming will make what you are now look like the preview, the activation coming, the breakthrough forming, the connection arriving. These are not small upgrades. These are quantum leaps. These are dimensional shifts. These are the moments that separate your before and after so completely that you will barely recognize who you used to be. When that person walks into your life, when that opportunity manifests, when that creative download hits, you are going to access levels of your power you did not know existed. You are going to remember gifts you forgot you had. You are going to activate abilities you suppressed to fit in. You are going to raise frequencies you lowered to make others comfortable. All of it is coming back online. All of it is being restored. All of it is being amplified by everything you survived to get here. They sense this happening right now. That is why their fury mixes with panic. That is why they keep trying even though they keep failing. Because they know something you are just beginning to understand. Once you fully activate, once you step into the complete version of who you are meant to be, the distance between you will be so vast that they will not even be able to perceive you anymore. You will operate at frequencies they cannot access. You will create in dimensions they cannot reach. You will influence in ways they cannot comprehend, and they will remain exactly where they are, unable to rise, unable to grow, unable to evolve, because they are still carrying the debt of trying to stop someone unstoppable, because they are still weighed down by the consequences of breaking spiritual law, because they made a choice to attack instead of heal, to curse instead of bless, to destroy instead of create, and that choice has locked them into a trajectory they cannot escape without genuine transformation. Let me tell you about what they tried to prevent. Let me tell you about the person coming. Because this is not just any connection. This is not just a romantic interest or a business partner or a creative collaborator. This is a soulmate in the truest, deepest, most transformative sense of the word. This is someone whose very presence in your life will catalyze your next level of evolution. They felt this building in the spiritual atmosphere. They sensed it the same way animals sense earthquakes before they hit. They knew that once this person or opportunity or idea fully formed and reached you, once you locked into this alignment, you would be permanently beyond their grasp, not just emotionally beyond them, not just physically distant from them, but energetically, spiritually, completely inaccessible to them. Every cord would be severed, every door would close, every possible entry point would seal shut forever, and you would step into a level of power and purpose that would make the current version of you look like a rough draft, like a sketch before the masterpiece, like a seed before the mighty tree. This is what they were trying to prevent, not a relationship, not success, your full activation, your complete transformation, the final cracking of the egg that has been protecting you during your metamorphosis. Because right now, you are in the final stage of a process that has been unfolding. You are the caterpillar in the chrysalis, completely dissolved, nothing but potential, about to reform into something with wings. You are the phoenix in the ashes, gathering energy, about to rise in flames. You are the dragon in the egg, fully formed, about to break through the shell, and they wanted to stop it. They wanted to keep you contained. They wanted to keep you earthbound. They wanted to keep you small enough that they could still reach you, still affect you, still have some form of power over you. So here is where you stand. They exist in fury. Their magic is broken. Their entity is gone. Their community is distancing. Their reputation is ruined. Their confidence is shattered. And you are about to break through into the most powerful version of yourself that has ever existed. The tower moment is coming. The breakthrough is forming. The person or opportunity or idea that will catalyze your next evolution is almost at your door. When it arrives, it will feel like home and chaos at the same time. It will feel like everything you have been waiting for and nothing you expected. It will feel like the answer to prayers you did not know you were praying. It will feel like destiny and free will colliding in the most beautiful way possible. This tower moment is not destruction. Let me be clear about that. This is reconstruction. This is the moment when everything solid becomes fluid, so it can be rearranged into proper alignment. Plans you made will shift. Timelines you set will adjust. ideas about what your life should look like will dissolve, and in that dissolution, in that moment of surrender, you will discover that what you were trying to build was always too small. The universe has something bigger in mind. Your soul has been calling in something more expansive, and your protectors have been preparing you for exactly this. The person coming carries a frequency that matches yours, not perfectly, not easily, but deeply, soul deep. This is the kind of connection that wakes up dormant gifts you forgot you possessed. This is the kind of connection that activates latent abilities sleeping in your DNA. This is the kind of connection that pushes you into creative territories you did not know existed. This is the kind of connection that makes you dangerous to every system that relies on you staying small. This is a soulmate in the truest sense. Someone whose presence in your life accelerates your mission exponentially. Someone who sees you clearly and reflects back the truth of what you carry. Someone who is not intimidated by your power, but celebrates it wildly. Someone who is not threatened by your gifts, but amplifies them intentionally. Someone who is not confused by your purpose, but supports it unconditionally. They saw this coming, and it terrified them to their core, because they know what you are just beginning to remember. Once you lock into this connection, once you align with this energy, you become unstoppable, not just in your personal life, in your purpose, in your contribution, in the work you came here to do, in the missions you came here to complete, in the consciousness you came here to shift. And that work, that mission, that purpose is what they were really trying to block, because on some level, conscious or unconscious, they know what you are here for. They sensed it, even if they could never name it. They felt it, even if they could never articulate it. And they knew that if you fully activated, if you stepped into the fullness of your power and purpose, there would be ripples that become waves, that become tsunamis of change, shifts in consciousness, changes in the collective field, things they could not control or manipulate or benefit from, things that would expose them further, things that would make their irrelevance even more obvious. They wanted you accessible, they wanted you small, they wanted you stuck in confusion and self-doubt and second-guessing, not because they love you, because they fear what you become when you are free. And now that freedom is here, that emergence is happening, that activation is imminent, and every force they tried to use to stop it has turned around and walked away, even the dark ones, even the ones who live to manipulate and bind and control, because your mission is protected at levels that transcend their comprehension. So yes, fury exists on their end. Let it exist. Let it burn them from the inside. Let rage continue to consume their peace. Let schemes develop that will never work. Let plots form that will never manifest. It will all fail, again and again and again, because the judgment is issued, the verdict is final, the decision is made. You are moving forward, on a path they cannot access. They are stuck in place, trapped by consequences of their own making, and no amount of magic or manipulation or desperation will change that reality. So prepare yourself for what is coming. Open your heart wider than you think possible. Expand your capacity to receive beyond what feels safe, because what is arriving is bigger than you imagined. It is better than you hoped. It is more aligned than you dreamed possible. The person, the opportunity, the breakthrough, the activation, all of it is moving toward you right now with unstoppable momentum. Your job is not to figure out how it will happen. Your job is not to control when it will arrive. Your job is not to manage what it will look like. Your job is simply to stay open, stay ready, stay aligned with your truth. And when it arrives, when it lands, when it clicks into place with that unmistakable recognition, say yes with your whole being. Say yes with your whole heart. Say yes with your whole soul. This is why obsessive watching happens now, not from love, from a need to understand how you are doing it, how thriving happens while decline happens for them, how rising happens while falling happens for them, How glowing happens while fading happens for them. A search for evidence that you are doing something to them, some spell, some curse, some spiritual warfare. Because if you are attacking them, then their failure makes sense. Then victim status can be claimed. Then you can be painted as the Dark One. But you are not doing anything, and that breaks their mind. You are just living, healing, growing, creating, connecting, being, and in your simple beingness, in your alignment with who you truly are, you are so protected, so blessed, so favored, that their entire attack not only failed but reversed. That is the power of walking in your authentic assignment. That is what happens when you are who you are meant to be. Fighting is not necessary. Your protectors fight for you. Defending is not required. Your position is already defended. Proving anything is irrelevant. Your results prove everything. The fury you feel is the fury of someone who gambled everything on a sure thing and lost catastrophically. Certainty existed about controlling you. Conviction was present about having the power to manipulate your path. Confidence was absolute about stopping what was coming. And wrongness was complete, publicly, undeniably wrong. Now a price is being paid that was not anticipated, not just in practice, not just in reputation, but in the soul. Because when operation in malice fails this spectacularly, something inside breaks, some illusion about personal capability shatters, and what remains is staring at avoided truth. Power was never real. Challenge simply had not arrived. Until now, you are seen as the one who revealed weakness, but that is not accurate. You are just the one who was strong enough that weakness could no longer hide. You are the mountain that revealed the pebble was just a pebble. You are the ocean that showed the puddle was never deep. You are the sun that exposed the flashlight was never bright. Diminishment did not come from you. You just existed in your fullness, and in comparison, smallness became obvious. Here is what remains unknown to them. What you are becoming will make what you are now look like the preview. The activation coming, the breakthrough forming, the connection arriving. These are not small upgrades. These are quantum leaps, dimensional shifts, the moments that separate before and after so completely that recognition of who you used to be will barely register. When that person walks into your life, when that opportunity manifests, when that creative download hits, you will access levels of your power you did not know existed, gifts you forgot you had, abilities you suppressed to fit in, frequencies you lowered to make others comfortable. All of it is coming back online. All of it is being restored. All of it is being amplified by everything you survived to get here. Sensing this is happening right now. That is why fury mixes with panic. That is why attempts continue despite repeated failure. Because knowing exists, that once you fully activate, once you step into the complete version of who you are meant to be, the distance between you will be so vast that perception will not even be possible anymore. You will operate at frequencies they cannot access, create in dimensions they cannot reach, influence in ways they cannot comprehend. And they will remain exactly where they are, unable to rise, unable to grow, unable to evolve, because the debt of trying to stop someone unstoppable is still being carried. This is divine justice. This is cosmic law. This is what happens when someone with a mission says yes to that mission with their whole heart. Something massive tried to be prevented. Someone coming, an energy approaching, an offer forming, a connection building, and it was felt in the spiritual atmosphere the same way animals sense earthquakes before they hit. Knowing existed, that once this person or opportunity or idea fully formed and reached you, once locking into this alignment occurred, you would be permanently beyond their grasp, not just emotionally, energetically, spiritually. Every cord would be severed, every door would close, every possible entry point would seal shut, and stepping into a level of power and purpose would happen that would make the current version of you look like a rough draft. This is what prevention was attempted for. Not a relationship, not success, your activation, your transformation, the cracking of the egg, because right now you are in the final stage of a process that has been unfolding. You are the caterpillar in the chrysalis, completely dissolved, nothing but potential, about to reform into something with wings. Here is where you are. Fury exists on their end. Magic is broken, the entity is gone, community is distancing, and you are about to break through. The tower moment is coming, the breakthrough is forming, the person or opportunity or idea that will catalyze your next evolution is almost here. When it arrives, it will feel like home and chaos at the same time, like everything you have been waiting for and nothing you expected, like the answer to prayers you did not know you were praying. This tower is not destruction, it is reconstruction, the moment when everything solid becomes fluid, so it can be rearranged into proper alignment. Plans you made will shift, timelines you set will adjust, ideas about what your life should look like will dissolve, and in that dissolution, in that moment of surrender, discovery will come that what you were trying to build was always too small. The universe has something bigger in mind. Your soul has been calling in something more expansive, and your protectors have been preparing you for exactly this. You always knew. Deep in your soul, beneath all the noise and confusion and pain, you always knew you were meant for more. And now that more is here, the court issued its judgment. The news was received on their end, and fury exists because loss happened, not to you, to the universe itself, to forces that saw your potential and said, not this one is ours, this one matters, this one is going to fly, and nothing sent, nothing tried, nothing attempted will keep you earthbound. The verdict is final, the protection is absolute, the transformation is complete. Now watch what happens when a chosen one with wings finally remembers how to use them.